So we're having the Great American Cook-Off once again. Our chef from Hot Tales will be competing with chefs from all over the country. They brought their best dish for seafood to highlight the great domestic seafood in America, and surely our great seafood here in Louisiana. We want to show the difference of our seafood over the imports, safe, the best seafood in the world, and hopefully our chef will bring home the crown again this year. Last year it was won by first female to win the national competition from Massachusetts. So it'll be interesting to see if we can bring the crown back to Louisiana. Partner with the Restaurant Association, which does great work advocating for our industry, and it's such a big part of our tourism industry, the restaurants, the chefs. We've seen it grow every year. We live stream it back to all of these great states, talking about seafood safety, and hopefully it encourages people to come to Louisiana. Surely they'll bring a great memory back home and at their restaurants talking about Louisiana. So it does two things: promote seafood, tourism, and we have a great time. It's a great opportunity for us to highlight all the great seafood of America. I want to thank all the chefs, wish them the best of luck, but I do hope Louisiana wins and brings the crown back here. And look, I will ask you this. As we fight the imports all across the country, competing with our domestic seafood, I ask you here in Louisiana, especially for our shrimpers, ask before you eat. Make sure it's Louisiana. Have a great time today, and may the best chef win. God bless you.
3, 2, 1. Yeah! Here we go, Chef Jesse's kicking it up for Texas, y'all.
We're going to do some blackened Gulf shrimp with daikon radish noodles, mint and herb salad, and then chili garlic butter sauce.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Houston's a melting pot, so I was thinking via Cajun. We're neighbors, you know, there's a lot of Cajun food in Houston. There's a lot of Vietnamese people in Houston, so that's where I started thinking of the combination. It's a melting pot.
Tell us, how did you become a chef?
I love cooking as a little kid. I would watch my mom cook when she was small. I mean, when I was small, I would pull the chair up beside her and watch what she was making, so that's where the passion grew.
Tell us, what's the key to winning a competition like this?
A lot of preparation. You gotta have a plan B, because sometimes things don't go the way they're supposed to go.
What seafood options do you have in the Houston area?
Oh, we got a lot of options. We're right by the coast. It's not that far away, probably by like 45 minutes. So we got a large option.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking Louisiana seafood?
Keep it simple. A little bit of seasoning. Keep it simple. Fresh, clean. It's nice.
Sam, come on, baby.
Today we had Alaskan king crab that we're wrapping in prosciutto. It's coming with burnt citrus, a carrot and saffron foam, and a crab nage.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Just born and raised in Alaska, eat king crab for celebrations and whatnot, and we wanted to take something that's kind of barbaric and messy and elevate it and make it elegant.
How'd you become a chef?
My dad was a chef back in the 70s, and we cooked together growing up. It's just something I've always wanted to do, and I'm terrible at math, so I couldn't be an engineer.
What do you like about cooking seafood?
Just everything about it, the quality you get, especially coming from our Alaskan waters, you can't beat it.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
Being focused, paying attention to the clock.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking up some seafood for dinner?
Season it properly.
Right, man, everybody. It's better to be a chef.
We're going to cook a little soft shell crab and bread it in panko breadcrumbs, and then on top of a little corn mock chew with a crab and shrimp cake, topped with tomato jam, and served with a crystal hot sauce for blanc, topped with lump jumbo crab meat.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
This is one of the dishes that I've made at my restaurant several times. Also, this is one of the dishes I eat at my house with my family. So it's really one of my faves, flavor profiles that I use, and I'm really happy to share it with everybody and see how they like it too.
How did you become a chef?
I became a chef through the kitchens in Mississippi Gulf Coast. I've been in the kitchens there for 28 years. I work for chefs like Emerald Lagasse, and my other chef is David Crabtree, also a Commander's Palace alum. So lots of New Orleans influence, also a lot of influence from Joe St. Paul. He's an instructor at Delgado. Also a lot of influence from my stepfather, Chef Guy Verdunks. He really got me on that path, got me doing a lot of that I do right now.
Tell us, what's the keys to winning a competition like this?
Keep it simple. don't do too much. Try and do what you know how to do, and just, like I said, keep it simple. Don't overdo it, don't overthink it.
What is your advice for the chef at home when it comes to cooking up some seafood?
Don't overcook it. No, for real. Just be familiar with what you're cooking. Get a little bit of knowledge about how long it takes. Some of that stuff takes 2 or 3 minutes sometimes, and you'd never believe it. It's done, but it's done.
Up looking like a little rack of fish.
Today we're doing the sleepy lobster and the brutula fish, both from the area, from Florida, representing the state. Trying to, so we decided put these two items together and made the dish with, representing the state, like I said, and also we're gonna be doing a lobster thermidor sauce that's gonna go with it, and yuca hash, which is something, is a root that we're gonna make a hash with it. We're gonna put some bacon, and we're gonna put some lime juice, garlic, olive oil, and try to be on time, try to make everything, within the time that we have. So the fish, we're gonna sear it. The lobster, we're gonna blanch it for a couple minutes to try to keep the tail straight. So when we do the presentation, it looks a little bit better, and also with the time we have, and hopefully we do a good job.
How did you come up with the idea for this?
We were thinking about it. We didn't know if we were coming. It happened all of a sudden, so it was a decision that we made on the fly, and we decided to not have only one, just one piece of fish, or we tried to do something else. So that's why the idea of the lobster came up, and it's a very unique type of lobster, very tiny, very small, a little bit sweeter than the ones from Maine. So, and that's I think the combination is gonna work. We tried it before and we practiced, so we kind of like did it a few times, and it worked for us. So let's see that it does the same when we do it today.
What is your key to winning this competition?
Be on time, and the flavor of whatever we're doing, try to have everything done properly. That's gonna be the key. Try to have every step that we have in the dish, make it without rushing, but being on time at the same time, not get a little bit too ahead, and try to have everything in place. So that's the key. But flavor is the main thing, for sure.
Cooking a lobster coconut dish with some fennel and some Maine corn and blueberries. It has hints of Malaysian recipes with classic Maine flavors. All the ingredients, I know the people that caught the lobster picked it. I know the people that grew the corn, grew the blueberries. So we're just trying to bring some of that flavor from home over to the good folks of Louisiana.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
My first chef was a Malaysian chef, and so I've always had hints of Asian fusion in my flavor. My mom's a lobsterman, so it was an easy choice on the protein.
Tell us, how did you get interested in becoming a chef?
My dad, who's here with me today, he had a restaurant when I was growing up. I always told him I wasn't going to be cooking professionally, but fell right into it, and now he's my sous chef. So,
what do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
I think cooking with seafood, it's some of the most flavorful ingredients in the world, and it's some of the freshest, especially down here. It's nice, it helps the local communities, and it's a big part of where I'm from.
What is the key to winning a competition like this?
Having fun and putting out good flavors.
What advice do you have to the chef at home when it comes to cooking up some seafood for dinner?
I'd say, don't go for the proteins that everybody's choosing all the time. There's tons of good fish and stuff that people aren't really going after. And man, I hate to say it, but Maine lobster's the best.
Ask you a couple questions about it.
Today we are cooking what I like to call the Gullah Geechee experience, Southern Legacy. It's going to be a pan-seared triggerfish, which is a fish that's local off of the South Carolina coast. It's in season right now. We're going to do a shrimp purloo, and we're going to do a crab succotash with a lot of fresh vegetables in it.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Because just to represent South Carolina, I'm from the low country of South Carolina. The Gullah Geechee heritage is really, really big in my state, and the Gullah Geechee cuisine is all about what's fresh, what's in season now, what we can catch, what we can grow. So whatever local fishes are in season, whatever local vegetables are in season, heavy on the okra, peas, corn, tomatoes. That's what Gullah Geechee cooking is about. So to express and to show you guys a little bit more about South Carolina, that's what I chose to do. It doesn't get any more South Carolina than that.
How'd you get interested in becoming a chef?
My grandparents, my grandmother, I lived on a little small farm. My grandfather would kind of raise, certain amount of animals. He raised a little garden. We'd bring it in and my grandmother would cook it. So I fell in love with the outdoor process, the growing, the feeding, the fertilizing, the picking, and then I came in and fell in love with the inside process, the cleaning, the prepping, the cooking, the canning, and all that good stuff. So just kind of stuck with me, man, and I turned it into a profession.
What's the key to winning a competition like this?
Just believe in yourself, believe in your ingredients, and go for it, man. Don't second guess yourself.
And what advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes time to cook some seafood for dinner tonight?
Don't cook it too long.
We're going to do a seafood bourguignon, which is basically a classic French, like red wine braised stew, usually with beef, pork, but we're going to use shellfish from New England.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
I wanted to mix an old, kind of a very classic French technique with a kind of sustainable seafood practice. In New England, green crabs are basically devastating all of the shellfish along the coast, so we're using green crabs and lobster to make the actual bourguignon broth, like the red wine broth.
What kind of seafood options do you have in Massachusetts?
Clams are big, clams, scallops, lobster, soft shell crabs.
How did you get interested in cooking and becoming a chef?
I've been doing this since I was 16, so it just kind of came naturally. I just kept running with it.
Tell us, what is the key to winning a competition like this?
I think you have to be focused, organized, and have fun.
What tips do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking seafood?
Man, freshness. Make sure you source properly and get fresh fish.
We're showcasing underutilized species of gaff-topped catfish that's in our brackish waters along the Gulf Coast.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Well, if you're a fisherman, and I'm not a great one, so typically have to get pretty adventurous with the things that I do catch. So, if it's eating shrimp and crabs, it's got to taste good, right? We'll follow that line of thought.
So tell us, how did you become a chef?
Large family, cliche farming family, as chef coming up, and food's always been a very stable, happy place for me to be.
What's the key to winning a competition like this?
I think our key is just challenging ourselves, and that's the win for us. We're here to have a really good time. A lot of awesome talent here, so we just got to perform. We got to execute as we practiced.
The foam aspect of their dish and wanting to make sure the timing of everything is perfect.
Today we're doing a plantain scaled grouper with pureed sweet potato and yuca, and we're doing a crawfish and coconut milk foam.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
A little bit of my background. I was born in Honduras, moved to Louisiana when I was 2 years old. Kept that same, culinary culture and background in my life, and then incorporated that with some Louisiana Cajun and Creole, and then just throughout the years, just developing those flavors and working on putting things together that from my country and from here in Louisiana, and it's worked out great for me.
Tell us, how did you become a chef?
So I started out in high school. I was about 15, and I always was in the kitchen growing up. I was in there with my grandma, with my mama, and everybody cooking, trying to learn something. And then after that, I went into high school. I was in a Pro Start program where I was able to compete and do some culinary things. And then after that, just moved along from there, culinary school, and then restaurants. And hey, here today.
What's the key to winning a competition like this?
Just try to stay calm. Calm, cool, collective, like they say. And just go and have fun. All we're doing is cooking, and that's what we do every day of our lives. So.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking up some seafood for dinner tonight?
Just take your time. Be very gentle with it. Don't try to go crazy, and keep it. Don't over season. Keep it super simple. And because seafood does its own little thing for you.
Today we're gonna do a seafood bouillabaisse.
What is that?
So it's a seafood stock, and we're gonna saute a bunch of vegetables in beef chorizo, and then make a seafood stock with that cooked veg and beef chorizo, and then it's going to be a seared scallop and some blackened shrimp and clams.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
We actually were thinking how to incorporate the state of Arizona into something. So we have a little surprise. Arizona's known for the 5 C's. And when I say the C's, it's cattle, citrus, climate, cotton, and copper. So we're going to incorporate that into the story when we present to the judges.
What seafood options do you have in Arizona?
We don't have a lot of seafood options, but we do have the Gulf of Mexico that is about 3 hours away. So the scallops and the shrimp both come from the Gulf.
Tell us, how did you become a chef?
Just cooking at home is how it happened. So cooking for the family and making sure that we had something to eat around dinner time. My wife doesn't like to cook, so I took those reins, and I've been doing it for about 25 years.
What's the key to winning a competition like this?
I think you got to have the first bite has to pack as much flavor as you possibly can. It's got to hit all of their senses. It's got to be spicy, it's got to be sweet, it's got to have acid in it. So that first bite, if it doesn't grab them, you're not going to win.
What advice do you have for the chef at home?
I think the advice for the chef at home is try something. Just get on the internet. You know, you could use ChatGPT and ask it to give you recipes. Get a recipe, try something, and just get in the kitchen and do it.
Is this like a cooking competition? Man, I've got a lot to learn. I always learn a few things at every one of these events.
Today we're doing a little bit of blue crab and corn, kind of like a Latin American twist on it.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
You know, just thinking about what's in season, right now with corn being popular and great flavor and the crab coming from the Chesapeake Bay, and working with my chef back here from Guatemala, I wanted to kind of get both our flavors together on this dish.
Tell us, how'd you become a chef?
I fell into this really young. I started, working in kitchens at a really young age, and I just loved it, and I just wanted to keep learning more and getting exposed to more experiences.
Tell us, what's it like cooking with seafood? What options do you have for seafood in Virginia?
The seafood options we have in Virginia are plentiful because we have the bay right there that feeds into major riverways. We have the Atlantic Ocean, so we have great shellfish. We have great fish itself, oysters, crab. It's an amazing product coming from Virginia.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
I think the trick to winning a competition like this is the focus, having a plan, and then really about the food. It's about the flavor and just making sure it goes well with your seafood.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking seafood for dinner tonight?
The advice I always say is keep it simple. True and tried, it's been lemon, it's been a little bit of butter. That always works well with your seafood, so keep it simple.
7, 6.
So we're gonna do a Moroccan Filipino inspired ceviche. So it's gonna be a combination of a saffron coconut glass noodle, a little bit of Argentinian red shrimp, and razor clams ceviche placed on top, and then a nice accoutrement of corn nuts, toasted desiccated coconut, and some microgreens.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
So Chef Mabi and I really just decided that we wanted to take two of our favorite things. He's Filipino and has great homage to all of his Filipino traditions and heritage. I just love world traveling and cooking. So one of the things that I haven't done lately in a competition is Moroccan. So it's just a combination of two really bold flavors, bold cultures, and that really marry well together.
How'd you become a chef?
I've been cooking since the days of long ye old grandmother's kitchen when I was 6, 7 years old, and then I originally went to school for theater, realized I wasn't pretty enough to be on stage or on TV, wasn't going to be Denzel, and so I went back to the kitchen, and I've been there ever since.
What do you enjoy the most about cooking with seafood?
The thing I enjoy the most about cooking with seafood is just there's such complexity of flavor with a simplicity of approach. You don't have to do a lot to it. You really want to highlight the flavors, the subtlety, and the subtle nature of all kinds of different seafood. You don't have to beat it into the ground. It's not like a pork roast or a whole pig. You can take a whole salmon and be done in 20, 30 minutes as opposed to a whole pork that, 5 days. So.
What seafood options do you have in Cincinnati?
Oh, Cincinnati and all of Ohio's fresh oceans that we have. So we actually are known for cultivating and sustainably farming sturgeon caviar, paddlefish caviar. And then, of course, we've got our lakes up north, so walleye, perch. So we have a lot of fresh options. But thanks to all of our broadliners and distribution partners, we get a lot of things flown in fresh daily.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
Oh, it's clock management. Making sure all your flavors are there, making sure they're balanced, making sure you know where you are on that clock.
What advice do you have for the chef at home?
eat everything. The advice that I have for a chef at home is to eat everything. Doesn't matter what it is, anywhere you go, try the local food, try whatever it is that's weird there. That's the only way you're going to get better, and the only way you're really going to be able to experience and build new flavor profiles yourself.
Well, thank y'all for coming here to Louisiana, where food is king. I wish the best to each and every one of you, but tonight everyone's a winner with great American seafood. Thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the Restaurant Association for partnering with us. They're such a big part of tourism. We couldn't do it without the great restaurants, chefs, and food in Louisiana. So thank y'all for being here, and may the best chef win.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
More. Thank you so
much.
much.
All right, Corey. Come on,
Samantha
baby.
Carroll and her team, Renee Ganishow and her team, amazing as always. Thank you so much. All right, Gerald, you ready?
I'm ready, bro. Here we go.
Third place in
Let's
the
get
Great
it.
American Seafood Cook-Off.
I take a lot of pride in holding these envelopes. Give it to me, baby. You got it. Who is it?
Christian Gill from
Yeah,
Ohio.
baby. Let's go.
Congrats, Christian. Wonderful.
Great dude. Christian, congratulations, brother. Yeah, you're right, baby.
All right, second place in the 19th annual Great American Seafood Cook-Off is...
All right, Corey Barr. Here we go. Yeah, a little drama,
Alaska, baby.
Uh-oh. Come on, Nathan. Let's go.
Wow, Chef Nathan, what a great dish. Dude,
That was one you got a little nibble on, brother. I know you were proud of that one. I know they're proud of it, man. It's good stuff, baby. Here we go.
All right.
Congratulations.
So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping right here. If I call your name, we got a little thing you got to do. You got to take a knee and get a crown, okay? Everybody got that?
Yeah, you're right.
All right. First place in the 19th annual Great American Seafood Cook-Off is Chef Brody Olive.
Oh, my goodness.
Alabama.
Luis Brody. Yes, man. Yes. Come on, baby.
You know, the first thing he said to me was roll tide. Hey, you could have been a little kind of that.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, brother, you ready
Hold
to
on,
take a
Brody.
knee?
You got to catch a knee, baby. Aaron's going to go ahead and bless you, man. Here we go.
Isn't that awesome, y'all? Look at there. Great job.
Yeah, you're right.
Pure joy, relief. A lot of anxiety and stress went away in that moment.
What'd you cook here today?
We did a smoked gaff top catfish. We trimmed it down so the ribs were exposed, so it kind of looked like a little black rackle ham, if you will. Our dish was based on a bad day of fishing that we turned good. So we cooked our bait shrimp, we turned that into a nice horseradish cream. We flash fried mole crabs, sand fleas as some of the fishermen would know them. We pickled purslane, which is a succulent that grows along our Gulf Coast.
Tell us, what is special about cooking with seafood?
It's so versatile. There's so much diversity in our Gulf of Mexico and our freshwater stuff as well. It's cool just to have an open mind and try different things.
First time competing here, taking second home is amazing.
What'd you cook?
We made a prosciutto wrapped Alaskan king crab. It came with some burnt citrus, a crab nage, and a saffron and carrot foam.
What did you learn by doing this contest?
Just staying focused and everything. This has been just a really great experience, networking with other chefs, being in this great city has been absolutely fantastic.
What was your reaction when you were named third place winner?
Third place 2 years in a row means I got to get back to the drawing board, get back in the prep kitchen, figure it out.
What did you cook here today?
So today I made a Moroccan saffron clam, razor clam with saffron glass noodles, and then a Filipino ceviche Argentinian shrimp.
We had some really amazing chefs this year. I mean, wow, these dishes really blew me away. You know, each year, I've been involved for 13 years now, and each year it seems to get better. This year was really one of the best I've ever seen. You know, the chef that won, the dish was amazing. You know, the heart and soul they put into it, it really deserved to win.
What is the status of the seafood industry now, and what kind of an import issue do you have?
Yeah, it's flooding the market. It's really hurting our local fishermen, crawfish, shrimpers, all the industry. So what we're trying to do is get our federal government to impose a 5 to 10 cents a pound inspection fee on imported seafood. That would give us a little bit more of a playing field. It would allow them to hire thousands more inspectors and really make a difference. They would inspect more seafood, reject more of it, because they only inspect about 5% of the imported seafood now. So hopefully we can, long term, we can get that done. But in the meantime, we're asking people to ask before they eat. Make sure it's Louisiana seafood, and we're asking our local restaurants to use Louisiana products. It's far better than those imports, and it's safe. So, we quit using Chinese drywall years ago because it made us sick. But we're eating these imports without seeing them inspected, and they're grown in horrible conditions. So it's a great time to promote Louisiana seafood.